Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we're going to take a little journey outside of Japan, which I periodically do. I tend to focus on Japanese craft beers and beers from the Japanese majors, but I also review US beers, European beers, all kinds of beers. So today we're going to go to Italy, and we're going to take a look at one of the more interesting Italian craft beer makers. The craft beer scene in Italy has really taken off. It's not one you hear about a lot in the US, I think, and certainly not in Japan, but it really has. There are lots and lots of breweries doing many interesting things. And this is kind of one of the pioneer brewers, and it is called Birra Baladin, and more formally, Birrificio Agricolo Baladin. And this is a company that does all kinds of things. It's founded by a man named Teo Musso, who just seems like a complete bundle of energy and ideas. And he opened a pub in 1986, and with the goal of serving, it's called Le Baladin, of 200 foreign beers, especially Belgian beers. And in 1996, he opened up a brew pub and began brewing. And then in 2003, he opened Selezione Baladin, which is a distribution company for Baladin and for other Italian products. In 2006, he developed Teku Glass, T-E-K-U, capital T-E-K-U, which is based on his first name, Teo, and his friend Kuaska, K-U. So Teku, a specialty drinking glass. You can see pictures of it online. And he opened up Casa Baladin restaurant. He opened up Baladin in Rome, and with 40 taps of beer. And he's got a New York branch. They farm their own barley and grow a lot of things that they need for the brewery as well. And he's involved with research on music and yeast and how music might affect yeast, and he's done historical research, and like Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head, he's tried to make historical styles. One of them is Etrusca, which is trying to recreate what the Etruscans might have been drinking 2,500 years ago, and taking yeast from the intestines of a hornet, all kinds of unusual things. So, and the beer we're going to look at today, we're going to look at two beers from them actually, and so shall we? I'm sorry, on Rate Beer, let me just reiterate here. Again, this is Birra Baladin, one of the premier Italian craft beer makers. On Rate Beer, they have 146 different beers listed. On Untapped, 102 different beers, and the average rating for all of those is 3.65. They're located up in the northern part of Italy in the Piedmont, in a village called Piozzo, in the province of Cuneo. This is getting close to the border of Monaco, and so it's quite a ways up there. So quite a brewery, and I'm looking forward to trying out several more beers from them. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, and now here we're going to look at a beer from Baladin, and it's maybe a more recent one than the last one we looked at, which was Isaac, and it's called Rock and Roll, and it is a pale ale, an American pale ale, as befits the origin, the location of rock and roll, and it is a pale ale, an American, at 7.5% and 44 international bittering units. But it's they're proud of the Italian provenance of this. They claim, where do they claim here? On their website, they claim it is 98.97 Italian craft beer. It has 0.95% US hops, and spices, 0.08% of the ingredients are Italian and Indian pepper, but the majority of it is Italian craft beer. As we said, they grow a lot of their own ingredients, including barley. I'm not sure about hops, but on rate beer, this one has only 13 ratings, and the average is 3.47. 57 percentile for all beers on rate beer, and 77 percentile for its style, which is American Pale Ale. And of course, there are many, many, many American Pale Ales and some very good ones there. Untapped, 14,319 ratings. The average, as is typical, is higher than rate beer. It is 3.56 on Untapped. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this one. I didn't know about it, and I found it in a shopping center mall liquor shop, and we're in Kyoto, southern Kyoto, quite a ways out from southern Kyoto, in a mall, kind of a small town center, and just decided to pick it up. So once again, called Rock and Roll, and we'll see if it rocks. Pale ales generally don't tend to rock a lot, but we'll see about this one. Okay, it is hazy, lightly hazy, generally I would say medium gold straw, wouldn't go beyond that, and maybe a half a finger of kind of frothy head. Carbonation, cannot quite see. All right. Yeah, it smells very fruity. Getting some kind of light peachiness from this. So yeah, the ingredients are malt, hops, and some pepper. Okay. Pepper should be interesting, although it's a very small amount. Pepper tends to add an interesting character to beers. It's used often, of course, in some heavier beers like stouts, where it really adds a dimension to that. I suppose you'd have to be really careful about adding pepper to something lighter like this. So I'm getting a lot of fruit, maybe some graininess as well. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It is quite sweet initially. A little bit of tingle from the pepper and perhaps the hops. It stays fairly sweet overall. Bitterness complements, but it doesn't really control the flavor at all. Yeah, this is pleasant. It's got a bit of an edge, a bit of mid-palate kind of kick that a lot of pale ales do not have. It's much fruitier than most are too as well. So an Italian pale ale with Italian ingredients. Yeah, very interesting, very nice. Yeah, so I would recommend this one. I have not had it before. And I guess not a lot of people have, with only 13 ratings on rate beer and 14,000 on Untapped. So if you happen to see this, you might want to give it a go. Interesting Italian take on the pale ale style at 7.5% and 44 international bitter units. So if you do try it, let me know what you think about it. Okay, I'd like to hear from you. That's it for today. It's Friday, and I am ready for a quiet weekend. We just had the Golden Week holidays here, and it was kind of broken up for me by a few days of work here and there, but now it's back to work, and yeah, so you take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.